5 Sons of the Forgotten. Chapter 1. Smoke coils around Louisa's face, stinging her eyes and choking her breath with the stench of burnt flesh as she fights the urge to gag. Her horse treads carefully, avoiding the fallen. Shouts of pain and final pleas echo around her, some still burning where they fell. Unlike every other war, none has undone her like this. This one strips her of the ruthlessness that comes as easily as breath. Louisa Hereward has never been a small figure, not even as a child. There were those who whispered that she was an old soul, thrust back into the world and bound within the wrong flesh, placed into a body meant for a man, though lacking the part that would make a man whole. An unfinished thing, they said. Even at 15, she stood so tall, so powerfully built, that strangers called her he before correction came. Sometimes the correction came in words. Sometimes in proof. There were days she walked bare-chested, forcing the world to see her womanhood. Yet even so, her muscle-hardened chest refused the softness men expect of women. In time, she grew tired of explaining herself. If they insist she is half woman and half man, then she will be both. In her world, men wage war and women bear children. Being a man came almost naturally to her. All she needed was a sword in hand, and a few worthy heads taken to prove it. Now she stands as a commander, leading men into Valemont. It was there a man first looked at her and called her she, without correction. With him, she found what she believed was love, though it lasted only a handful of moments. Still, that fleeting spark put Isabel inside her. Yet her sword is still drawn, stained with the blood of those whose voices once sang with hers. Fighting them feels like waging war against her own. This horror should have ended in a single day if not for her stubborn attempt to be reasonable and to offer mercy. Instead, it drags into the third day with the clouds gathering once more, though the smoke makes it hard to tell whether rain is approaching or the night itself is returning. A sudden movement snaps Louisa out of her thoughts, and her horse jolts backward, neighing in alarm. A man bursts from the smoke, eyes wild with rage, his spear aimed at her. His charge is clumsy, driven by the reckless madness of a man with nothing left to lose. The man's rush ends before it reaches her, a dagger sinking deep into the back of his skull. He falls face first into the dirt. Then, Rowan bursts from the same curtain of smoke, his face streaked with ash and fury. He yanks the dagger free and wipes the blade clean on the dead man's tunic. Wake up, he barks at Louisa, then throws the dagger again and races after it, swallowed once more by the chaos of war. Louisa's eyes shift past Rowan and find him, the king of Valemont. A king too eager to cast aside his crown if it means saving his own life, a coward who hides behind the courage of his people. For a moment, she wonders if he feels the torment of his people burning behind him. Though his bronze chestplate has turned black and his light skin darkened, almost as black as hers, Louisa knows what she sees, not a brave king fighting for his people, but a man running for his life. The king spurs his horse on, desperate to outrun the cries and screams of men dying for his pride. His royal robes billow in the wind, but there is no king left in him, only a frightened old man. King Horace Bramwell drives his heels into the horse's flanks, spurring it on with every drop of fear left in him. He yells and lashes the reins, urging the horse to run faster. The animal gallops like the wind, hooves tearing into the mud. The growl of the river reaches him before the sight of it. The road ahead narrows, leading nowhere but into the angry water below. Panic seizes him, he jerks at the reins, pulling left, then right, shouting for control. The horse refuses, eyes wide with its own terror, it knows only one command now, run faster. His throat strains as he shouts again, desperate for the creature to obey, but the river drowns everything. The sound swells until there is nothing left but the madness of a king who can no longer command his own horse. At last, it finds footing, skidding to a halt at the edge of the cliff. The king leans back in the saddle, gasping, eyes wide with terror as he stares down at the black, surging water. One misstep, and the river will claim him. It is getting dark, the night is truly returning. His eyes, small and ever restless, dart about, searching for escape. The forest is too thick to ride through, yet dense enough to hide a man. And with the night coming fast, it may serve as his refuge. The river roars again, and he turns his eyes back to it, then to the horse, wondering why he is still on it. Only a moment ago, the creature nearly dragged him to his doom. He swings one leg over the saddle, his hands gripping the reins as he lowers himself down. The sound of hooves snaps his head around. Someone is coming. Louisa eases her horse to a halt and leaps down immediately. She pulls her sword from its sheath as she charges towards him. The faster she takes his head, the sooner the bloodshed can end. The king's hand trembles as it closes around the hilt of his sword. He draws it, though even his shaking hand knows he has not wielded one in years, if ever. He retreats a step, and Louisa halts. He is too close to the cliff's edge. Horace notices the worry in her eyes. He lets out a dry, bitter chuckle, the sound of a man unsure whether he's mocking her or himself. He turns to glance at the raging water, making sure he has not drifted too near. Then an arrow strikes, driving deep into his neck. His eyes widen, half in pain, half in disbelief. For a moment he stands there, blinking at the world as if it has betrayed him one last time. Then his knees give way. No. Louisa screams, lunging forward. But he is gone, pulled along with everything the river has taken. She stands frozen, eyes fixed on the black river, scanning its surface in vain, but there is no sign of him. Then she snaps her head towards the ridge where the arrow came from. Isabel still holds her bow, but the tension in the string eases as she lowers it. "I need the king's head," Louisa yells at her daughter. Isabel's face fills with guilt. Without the king's head, their victory is doubtful, barely a victory at all. She flings her bow aside and runs for the river. The water roars, she dives in anyway.